Well, good afternoon everyone. It's about 1:30, Tuesday 17th of Feb. I'm going to take you on a little spin out towards the west coast of the UK, which sounds like it could be an epic road journey, but it's not. I don't know, 30 miles or so. And we get through this traffic and we'll be away on a country road, a nice road out to somewhere called Southport. And it's an old Victorian seaside town, northwest coast of England. Lovely little spot. Half term at the minute here in the UK, so a bit more traffic on the road on a Tuesday than you'd expect to be, purely because there's more families heading over there. But it's cold, although it's nice and bright and sunny. It's something like 5 degrees, translated to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. So it is cold, but I'm quite well wrapped up apart from my legs. And we're heading towards a place called Parbold, which is a gorgeous little town on the canal side, Leeds Liverpool Canal. It's great little pubs in there and coffee shops and things like that. It's lovely. So we're heading out that way. It's kind of one main road that takes you out towards the coast, and in Southport it's got some pretty high sea defences, so you don't tend to be able to particularly see the water unless you get out and have a wander. I might show you that once we get there. I don't know whether I'll keep this on all the way there or whether I'll switch off. I've got a remote now, you might be able to see on my handlebars. I've got a remote now, so I can pretty easily flick off and flick back on as and when I need to. Again, these parts here are quite popular with walkers. Reaching a little summit of something called Parbold Hill, which you won't be able to make out on the GoPro, but when I get to the top here, there's a little parking space. I'll just pull in and show you. You won't be able to see everything that I can see, but you can see Liverpool and so I'll just pull in a little bit further over. You can see enough here, maybe bleached out slightly from the sun, but hopefully that truck won't reverse. But you can see a fair distance there over that way. We've got Wigan there, the big Heinz factory you can see. I don't know if you can see that. The DW Stadium. The Pennine Hills in the background, you definitely won't be able to see them. But as we sweep across, this is West Lancashire. And kind of in that direction is Liverpool. It's a bit hazy, you can't really see it. It's kind of over in that direction, and then over this way we've got Southport and Formby and places like that, out towards the Isle of Man maybe, and over towards Ireland. We're heading down that way. It's very flat once you get down to the bottom of this hill, all the way over to the coast. We'll head that way and see where it takes us. It's a pretty straight road. I may well come off at some point and just just have a little detour if there's anything of interest. A little popular spot. Down that way, it's a gorgeous view. It's a nice bright day, so cold but bright. So I'm not taking you this way before. Funny, I put the last moto log I did over to Rivington, put that on YouTube and a couple of forums. hdforums.com is where I tend to put the things. Somebody from British Columbia got in touch to say he was from Fleetwood, which is near Blackpool, and asked if I'm going out that way at all. Can't get that far today, but I will do. I'll certainly put something on from there to bring back some memories for somebody. Don't know that area all too well. Following a learner here. I don't know what the laws are across the world, but here, when you're 16, I think you can ride a restricted bike on up to 125, I think it is. Maybe 17, I'm not sure. You have to display a learner sign and out like that. The guy's got in front, so that looks the size of the back wheel and the size of the pipe. Looks like it is a 125. They make them to look quite big, beefy bikes from the front. And I think it's 26 years old is when you can get a fully unrestricted license. Maybe 24. We're going over the Leeds-Liverpool Canal here on this little... It's full of these humpback bridges, which are just single carriageway bridges. Can't really see too much. There are two ways here really to go to Southport. I'm going to head this way first of all, come back a different way. This way takes us through a place called Burscough. And it takes us slightly south of Southport and we head in that way and then come back hopefully a different way. I tend to, when I head to Southport, think I'm going one way but end up actually going the other way. This is a lovely little village called Newburgh. Lovely, quaint English village. Very old stone cottages, 1762 that one there, the Red Lion Hotel. It's a pub. There's my favourite little place coming up to here. We get to this little roundabout. You see that little stone cottage in the front there, right in front of us? The red brick with the church behind it. That was kind of a cafe and a post office. It's actually for sale, and damn, I'd love to buy that thing there. Make it into a tea room or live the English dream. That would be quite nice. And as soon as you come into Newburgh, you're kind of riding out of it. So coming out of it now, when they get around a couple of these little bends, you'll see we're into absolute flat farmland. Gorgeous barn conversions and things. You see it's really flat now. Just come out of Newburgh and guy there muck spreading. cattle sheds for all winter. All the wasters collecting it, throwing it out onto the fields. I do love these roads down here. Cabbages in the fields there. Picking them, and well, we go to local farm shops probably, they're not supermarkets. The supermarkets, big hypermarkets here now tend to own huge plantations out in Norfolk or East Anglia, out that way, and thousands and thousands of acres, which again for Australia and America is a small kind of farm. But we ain't a big country here, so you'll see there's some gorgeous houses. Not these ones really on the roadside, but further back, many of these old barns that have been converted, really expensive to buy. If you're thinking of a 4-bedroom barn conversion here, hey, didn't really see me, did he? I kind of saw him. Always expect the worst. Last advice I was told, I said it before, is expect everybody on the road is trying to kill you when you're on a bike. Everybody. Expect everybody hasn't seen you. Not bad advice. So we're heading into Burscough now. And again, another gorgeous place. And I was saying, I think like a 4-bed, fairly big barn conversion here is going to cost you £750,000, which is probably 1.1 million, 1.2 million dollars. To have the dream house. I love these old stonework, you know, on the left here. See that? Just look at that. Old windows. I tell you, I'm going to swing to the right here. I'm going to take us slightly different. Different way actually, a bit more scenic. We'll come out of Burscough in about a mile and a half. Past somewhere called Windmill Farm, which is a kind of a farm that's diversified into a visitor centre. Got a big steam train there, and goats and llamas, and you can take your children and feed them. It'll be quite busy, I expect. And again, another place called Martinmere, I think it is. Big nature wildlife reserve. It's just birds. Nothing like safari or anything like that. Just different birds. So again, it is a nice place, Burscough. I do like it. It's got like 2 stations. The railway line is Burscough, so it's pretty well connected to Wigan and Manchester and Preston. Once you get there, you're very well connected to London. I think where I live, If you get on the train at Wigan, you can be in London in an hour and 57 minutes. Which is pretty good going. I know for you, those of you who might be watching or listening in places such as America, Australia, that's absolutely nothing, is it? Going to switch off here once we get through Burscough, and I'll come back on the other side. Well, hello again. Just heading out of Burscough now. See this farmland, it stretches for a long way. Wind farms over there, and we're facing north at the minute. To my left is obviously the west coast, not too far away, 10 miles or so. The east coast is 150 miles. On my right, I suppose, that would be level with Hull. Service here are terrible. I remember this from driving in a car when I come here with take my daughter and my son to Windmill Farm up here. And it's a terrible road surface, but it's not very well used. You see these hidden little crossroads where you'll get people trying to just sneak out quickly. Little abandoned farm building there. Sean, one for you. Oh, you'd like that. Here's Martin Mere, the wildlife centre I was telling you about. Busy place. Swing around to the right up here, and that's where Windmill Farm is. See the windmill on the left, just there. Doesn't have the wind bit, but it is the mill. I think people live in there. You see the cars in the field here, that's past the car park. It must be busy today with that many people in. Oh, it's a bumpy road. Farming in the UK had it's had a rough time of it. Hit with the mad cow disease. Have you heard of that? BSC, that's what that's called. That corner took me by surprise. I didn't really expect that corner there. And then so mouth, mad cow disease, bird flu, all these different things that farming community, and oh, there's a lot of crap all over the road here. Oh, that's why. It's like a giant hedge cutter or something. Wide vehicle, isn't it? Don't quite know what that is. A potato picker or something like that. because cabbage is all over here. Mainly what they're farming, I think. Quite healthy soil being close to the coast. I always get mixed up when I'm coming up here, exactly where I am. There's turf, they're growing turf there. Grass. West again towards the coast, not too far actually. Tarleton here, which perhaps I thought Tarleton was a bit nearer to me. Fields there, I think, or leeks? No, leeks. I was going to say, wrong time of year for corn. This field's been picked already. Winter veg. Okay, and they've had a lot of the roads in the UK are really bad quality at the minute. We've had a few cold winters and austerity cuts, which has meant the councils have cut back on how much they're spending on maintaining the roads. So their programmes of keeping them nice and maintained are gone, and they're just filling potholes whenever they get complaints. So when the times get good again, the roads will get reinvested in, I suppose. We'll be fine. I don't know how many of you bikers out there that are as equally into your cars as your bikes. I'm probably more into my cars than my bikes, to be honest, although it's changing quite quickly. Well, that's a bit of a petrol head. One of my favourite cars I've ever owned is an old MG. Well, it wasn't old, it was a newer version of an MG, an MGF. I don't think you got them in America. Dual carriageway coming up here. I'm not bothering taking over this guy. Chatting away. So yeah, an MGF, a beautiful little car. It was a year 2000 model. In I think 2003. I just fell in love with the thing. It wasn't for me, it was for my wife. Well, girlfriend back then. 2004 actually, I think. And I fell in love with the thing. And yeah, America, you won't see them really. And I did once look it up. They weren't. You can export them over there. If I went to live in America, I could take it over there. But I read somewhere, or someone told me, I could have it there for a year, and I'd have to get some major changes done to the car for emissions or for something for it to be allowed to be there. It was only a 1.8 litre 16 valve engine, you know, nothing special engine wise. Great looking car. More money, and I got rid of it in 2010. But funny enough, I came across it on a Facebook page somewhere, back up for sale for just £800 about 9 months later on, for a quarter of the price that I'd sold it for. So I bought her back, and what I'll do when I put this on YouTube, I'll put a link in the comments or something. And it was, I bought it back for £800 and sold it 6 months later for 2,400. It hadn't been well looked after in the time that I got it back. I don't know if you've ever done that before. It just wasn't the same. I suppose it's like going back with an ex. Someone else had been driving this car. It just didn't feel the same. I think you know what I'm saying. So I sold it, and I've had a load of different cars since. I've got a big old BMW X6 at the minute. I do with my job. I've talked about my job a little bit before, but I can do 2,000 miles a week in that thing. So I need a bit of a workhorse, and this is a workhorse. So I'm hoping in the summer, well, it says in the summer, we don't get much of a summer here. I'm hoping when the weather does warm up a bit and we get longer days, because in the UK we can, in June, it's light at 4 in the morning and dark at 10:30 at night, so yeah, big long days. We're on the outskirts of Southport now. So I'm hoping, you know, that I can use the bike a bit, the old iron in the summer, heading off places. For those, I think if you've heard one of my other videos, you'll hear me talk about my job. I work with schools. Mainly primary schools, helping them use IT and computers in a more effective way. Long story, I might bore you with that on the way back, but I don't really want to rock up to a primary school on my Harley, you know, after wearing a suit and stuff, so quite often I'm away, so I can ride down to where at the hotel I'm staying at for a couple of days and keep my bike there and get a taxi into the school. And in the evenings I can head off for a ride in different parts of the country. So that was my whole plan really, of getting this and start motor vlogging, and I find myself in different places around the UK, some extreme places, for a few days at a time. So instead of sitting in a hotel room in an evening, I can get out on the bike and enjoy some of the roads. So there's nothing really special riding into Southport here. Only another 5 minutes to go. I'll just flick off now, and I'll switch it back on in 5 minutes or so when we're getting near the centre, because it's a beautiful little Victorian town. So I'll see you in a bit. Well, hello again. We're just coming right to the seafront in Southport now, and you'll see the architecture change quite dramatically from old 1960s high-rise to these Victorian beautiful buildings. So we're going kind of parallel to the seafront now. The seafront's 200-300 yards to my right, up there. I'll head along here, and swing round along up to the coast up there. It's one of those Victorian towns that you can imagine, in their suits and their bowler hats and their umbrellas for the shade, and it's fairly well attended, is Southport. People come here and they do shop, and tea rooms on the left are kind of hotels and things. Big hotels here. To the right, just these shops and little arcades with tea rooms, and very much catering for the elderly. The elderly, wow, you know what I mean. The ones that tend to have the time to come here during the week. It's half term at the minute, so in the summer, and when you get nice spring and autumn days, people will be heading to the beach. The beach here, if we get to see it, is huge when the tide's out. When the tide's in, there isn't one. So it's all tidal depending, so again, I do love this place. Beale's department store. Never heard of that. Outdoor cafes there, doing well in the indoor bit, but it's very cold to be sat outdoors. From memory, at the end of this road there's a roundabout. We can swing around to the right and head up towards the actual coast there. See these hotels on the left here. Again, no sea views, but pretty nice hotels. Prince of Wales Hotel there. Heard good things about that. Pubs and bars, and then you get to here and it suddenly kind of stops. We'll take a right at this roundabout and swing around to the Esplanade on the seafront, and we'll see what we can see. It's a good thing about being on a bike, I should be able to pull up somewhere, but there are traffic wardens everywhere, especially at a half-term break. I can actually feel the warmth of that sun on my legs for a bit now, which is good. 2 lanes going into 1.5 on a roundabout, and that guy in front just clipped that gentleman's wing mirror. See a lovely Victorian park here. You can imagine there's juxtaposition of supermarkets and factories and these gorgeous Victorian parks. It's quite a strange mix. They've got to try and pull tourists in now, I suppose. Theme parks and things like that are one way to do it. So we see the seawall in front of us. There's a car park that's closed there, but I'll probably be able to pull in at some point and just have a wander up and show you. Yeah, there is, I can pull up. It's good. Don't want to go too close to that car, it'll have to reverse. I've got a feeling I'm going to be leaving before them. So, let me just take a little wander to what you can see here. I'll put my visor up. Again, you won't be able to see as far as I can see on the GoPro, but you see a pier going out there. That's a Southport pier with a big restaurant at the end of it. You can't actually see the sea. It's way out there somewhere, maybe a mile or 2 miles. And within half an hour, the sea will be up here. It's quite a notorious place that people get trapped. The tide comes in different parts, and you can end up isolated if you're not careful. The trains and go up and down that, or there's buses that go up and down that pier. Big glass building on the end of it. That's quite new. I've not seen that before. In the distance, you won't be able to see it, but behind the pier, the glass thing on the end of that pier to the left, over that way, I can see Blackpool Tower and Lytham St Anne's. That's another place I'm going to go to on another day. But you can see that's Liverpool's down that way. It's about 10 miles. So my legs are warming up nicely in this sun, actually. There's the old iron. I do love her. Great. And remarkably comfortable. But let's head off, because I want to be home before my little boy gets up from his nap. And hello again. We're quite a way out of Southport now. Still quite heavy traffic, but I'm going to be swinging off to the left soon, which hopefully I'll be the only one of these lights heading off towards going eastbound back towards Wigan. Signposted straight on. You can see the signpost here. It says Burscough, which, remember, that's where we came from. Different road into Burscough. We won't be really even going to Burscough. We'll through it in a way, but not the same way we went before. And these roads that we're talking here, when I turn off to the left now, these roads will be quite nice little country roads again, lovely properties, so would be worth switching back on for. You'll kind of recognise these type of roads. West Lancashire is pretty much renowned for pretty roads and barn conversions and things like that. Just a little bit built up here on the left, but as we head away from these houses you'll soon see what I'm talking about.